Hey friends, what is good? Welcome to the third episode of Bonsai Stories, or the fourth. I lost the track, guys. I think it's fourth.
I guess fourth
Uh,
one.
yeah, it's the first one. Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you very much. Somebody is following me. Thank you. Thank you, João Pedro. So I don't know if I could pronounce this. I think I'm close. João Pedro,
that's pretty
from
close.
Portugal.
From
Uh,
Brazil. I'm from Brazil, but I live in Portugal. Yeah.
okay. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. I guess there are some Portuguese people living in Brazil and the other way around, right?
Yes.
Who, yeah, lives in Portugal and he's from Brazil. And he's going to share with us his story about bonsai. Hey, tell
Hey,
me how should I pronounce correctly your name first?
okay, it's pretty close. My name is João Pedro.
João. João.
The way I try to teach people is, do you know the sound of the lightsaber when on Star Wars? Wong, wong. So like
Ah,
João,
João. Okay.
João Pedro. And I'm a civil engineer student here in Portugal. I'm finishing up my master's degree on constructions, and I've always been passionate about BIM. So I chose to do my master thesis on something related to BIM, and a company asked me to research about workflows on BIM model quality, model analysis. And so I stumbled upon the word IDS for a long time. It was appearing all the time to me. And I was kind of scared approaching it at first because to me, openBIM was had something to do with code, like programming. And I don't know how to code. And I will learn someday, hopefully. But uh, I I try to avoid for a long time IDS, but then one day I just stopped and watched the video, like 30 minutes, and it was way easier than I expected, than I anticipated, and it made it's actually now the main point of my master thesis. So yeah, that's how I stumbled upon IDS and bonsai and everything.
So that's when you started to use bonsai to run
Yes,
the IDSs and so on.
yes.
Okay, that's
It
great.
I watched a video. I cannot remember the channel. It's like creating my first ideas, something like
Yeah,
this.
yeah, I've seen that like a half an hour video made by
Yeah,
somebody.
it
It's
has
quite
like
good. Yeah.
300 views and it's quite recent.
Ah, okay.
And um, I watched it. I downloaded Blender and then sorry, installed Bonsai. And it took me one day to get an IDS file that was working with the IFC file that I was working with. And I was like, well, okay, half of my work is done. Okay, I created a specification, I tested it, and it got me in a report, a really nice report on HTML. And so that's great. I showed everyone on the at the office. They're like, oh, that's cool. That's okay. That it has future. And so, yeah,
That's yeah, I remember when you mentioned in the beginning, you said that you are unsure, you are scared, like you are not really sure like how to start and so on. And then you just suddenly did it. And that's like I try to underline this in many of my videos, many of my posts about this specific thing that IDS is very simple and you just have to dive in and stop to overthink it because I'm sure there are so many people who are exactly stuck right there because they think it's too complicated for them. But actually, that's not true. It's so simple. And there are many tutorials. Even I have some tutorials. There are many now on YouTube how to start. And if you use Aka USB Editor, that's a great tool for creating IDS. They even have a manual, a guide. So there are no excuses actually. And it's a really simple thing to do and at least to get started with, right? You start somewhere. Let's say like I don't know, maybe I want to you want to check the information on your doors. Start only with that. You don't have to start with a fully fledged. Like I see many people also, I think, fall into the trap where they are they are overcomplicating it from the get-go. They want to really convert all their requirements into ideas, and they don't understand anything. Of course, that's going to look overwhelming, right? So don't do that. Start with a door. Take a door or a window or a wall. It doesn't matter. Just take a wall and check for that wall all the information that you want to check. Because that's simple, right? Most of the time, people are going to check for classification, are going to say maybe fire rating, load bearing if it's structural, and then custom property set. Like 99% of the time, like that's what we look for. Custom property set, because that's what consultants at this point in time understand. They cram all this information in custom property sets, right? So I'm very happy to see actually somebody who had the same doubts and actually did like went further, because actually when you say that, that's exactly how I also stumbled and how I also started to use ideas. I was like in the beginning, when I heard about the idea of ideas, I got very inspired and I thought, wow, this is really cool, we really need something like that. I couldn't wait to get a hand on it, right? And I started to use, I don't know, it was, I think first time I used it, it was 0.9.4 or something like that. There were three other versions after that, 3.9.6, 3.9.7, and then the official one, 1.0. Um, but like in the beginning, again, like I was just talking to many people about ideas. I was sharing content, but I was not taking action. I didn't start to create my first ideas. And I said, like, what am I doing here? What am I waiting for? So that's why, like after few months of just like remote getting closer to ideas, I decided, oh, after actually it happened after the summer holiday. When I get back to work, I said I have to start creating my ideas, and that's been like since August 2023. Almost every week, if not every week, I run ideas, and I cannot imagine getting an IFC model without checking it with ideas. It's so much value for such a low effort. And on
Yes.
top of that, it helps you also understand IFC schema when you use with Bonsai and so on. So very, very interesting. But when this did happen, do you remember like how many months ago? Like it was last year, this year?
Less than 3 months ago.
Ah, so
I've
it's this
learned,
year. Okay.
yes, I've learned this year. I try to complete the workflow. So like to create the IDS file so we can specify the the information requirements that we want,
Yeah.
and then to create the model, and then to check the model against the specifications, and then deliver it. So share the issues if there is any. And this is the system that Chuck Eastman proposed, and that's the system that Building Smart is proposing too.
Mhm.
And so I try to do the whole thing, and I was also trying to export the issues. And the only video I found teaching how to export BCF, for example, was in your channel. That's how I met you
Was
too.
made by Menomakis, that one
Yes,
about
yes,
BCF.
exactly. And that was pretty much my work. And I
Oh,
think
okay. So
you're
you didn't know about BIMvoice until few months ago.
I've seen your face popping on my my
Feed?
YouTube, but just like you, I was um it took me a long time to start, took me
Yeah,
a long
yeah,
time to
yeah,
take
yeah.
the first step.
Yeah, we're not sure that this was something for you. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah. And thesis is something that's kind of time consuming. And so I try to only focus my attention on what matters. And I think this is what happens on big companies. Uh, BIM coordination, quality analysis is overwhelming. And so if you say like, okay, IDS is going to change your life, it's normal to think, okay, I'm not sure. You have no idea how much trouble I have doing BIM coordination. And so this new thing, it's going to be a new thing, and I'm going to have to teach the whole team. And it's, oh my God. I don't think you should approach IDS like this. I think you should go for fun, just, I don't know, I have 30
Play
minutes
with it like a
here.
puzzle. Try to see like a new thing, like you
Yeah.
read a new book.
Yeah,
Exactly.
just try to see what is it? What happens if I download Blender, Bonsai, and open any IDS editor? Let's see what happens. And it might as well change your life, you know. It might be a game changer. It's been a game changer for me. I don't work, you know. I'm just a student right now, but I'm pretty sure I will use it for a long time now. And yeah, yeah, I completely agree with you.
Mhm. That's very good to hear. So, do you use Bonsai for anything else, or mostly to navigate models, to look at the information, and or maybe what is your process? How do you create an IDS? Like, how do you go when you create an IDS?
So I also use the US BIM from Akka.
Yeah,
I create the IDS, do the whole specifications, download the IDS file, and I only use the Bonsai
run
to
it.
check to run it. Yes.
One second.
And
When you
yes.
create the specification, when you convert the requirements, let's say into IDS, does that mean that you have like, do you use your internal company requirements or like client requirements? Like, what is your starting point?
Yes. At first I just tried a random IFC model from Revit that I made in 2 minutes. And
Okay.
then the company provided me a few models. And they provided me like different specialities of the model. So HVAC, architectural, structural. Each model had different parameters. So before I was doing the IDS files, I had to understand what type of language they were speaking on the models, you know,
Yeah.
trying to understand the syntax that they used for what were they calling the walls, for example, you know.
Yeah.
So I made a list. It was quite easy. It took me like 5 minutes just to make a list of every IFC element that was present on the IFC file.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just translated it to the IDS, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it makes sense what I did, but
Yeah, you don't, you can skip the creation of the list because you can read that list directly from your model. That's why I use Bonsai, right? So I just use, right under the spatial decomposition where you see the floors and the ISC project and so on, you can see all the classes in your model. So that's quite
mhm,
quickly, you can get a quick understanding like what kind of elements do I have in my model, right? So
exactly.
then you can quickly go about that. But I guess you also do this by discipline, right? You have
Yes,
like one IDS for structural, one for architecture or something like that, right?
exactly. Because some models are more complex than others.
Yeah.
And so I had to create one IDS for each. Um, It was quite easy. The information requirements that I was checking was provided by the company based on the information requirements from the client that they had. So that was an actual model that was actually
Like a
a
real
project.
real life simulation. Yeah, that's
Yes, it was
great.
a real life project that they had already checked. They had already put on a quality analysis, but like um I don't want to say personally. It's manually. They did the quality analysis, and I just did it automatic. And yeah, that was it. And I noticed a couple of mistakes. Noticed a couple of
Something
issues,
missing. Yeah.
and they were kind of random. So that implies that maybe it was a human error. So that's what IDS helps everyone with, you know. It's
Yeah, it
automatic.
doesn't miss anything. That's
It
why
doesn't
why
miss
what I
anything.
love. Yeah, you get to
Yeah.
see exactly what you have. There is like, yeah, sometimes I feel that there are so many people who don't really want to see how bad their models are. That's why they are still so resistant to start using IDS. Because
Mhm.
yeah, exactly that, right? Before IDS it was impossible. Like what do you do? Like how do you even create these rules in Solibri to check them? Because you don't know exactly what to expect from, right? In IDS, you
Mhm.
can just go very like general in the beginning, and it gives you everything, like what is wrong, right? And then you can go and say maybe something is you can live with, and you can classify it. I don't know. You can exclude it from. You can do something about that, right? Or you can just say like it's fine. It can be an error. That's something I don't care. But sometimes you see like if this is something repeating, like I think the biggest thing that is going to provide is that just realizing how many things are missing from all the objects in the model. Only if that thing you see how much information is missing in the model and you provide feedback to the other stakeholders to fix that, there's going to be saved a lot of time. Yeah. So
Definitely, definitely.
um,
And
have you? Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
I forgot what I was going to say, so
Sorry.
go ahead.
Have you tried any other? Do you use at where you are right now? Do you use any other IFC viewers? Did you try to run the ideas through other IFC viewers than Bonsai?
No, no, only
No.
bonsai.
Okay. And in Bonsai, you just go and run the IDS tester. You don't do anything else. Do you look in the model? Do you navigate in the model view and do you click on objects to look at what information they have or something like that? Or
Yes, yes, that was actually part of the process because walking into this, I was a complete beginner. I did not know what property sets were. So that's a big thing. And so I had to look, let's say IFC doors. I knew I had to look for, let's say IFC walls, and I had to look for load bearing parameters. And so I had to click on the any wall and check in which P set, in which property set was
where is that?
the load bearing, because they had custom P sets on the IFC.
Okay.
And so I had to know where I was going to look at it.
Mm.
But this syntax and where is everything search was pretty easy. It was like 20
Yeah,
minutes worth of my
because
time, and it
you
was a
are
big
using
model.
Bonsai. Sorry, because you are using Bonsai. You have no idea how lucky you are. Because and I'm telling you why exactly right now, because this is a big issue. But you are already you avoided that by starting using Bonsai reading information from. Because all the
Mhm.
other tools like Solibri and other tools are showing you this in some property sets that like other properties or other information and custom presets, and you're a bit unsure like how do I check this in IDS? In Bonsai, you see exactly where it is and you know exactly how quickly you can do and do that in IDS, right? So this is extremely important. These other tools, unfortunately, are showing extra information, are converting the IFCs into their own like format, and they are translating the information and put it in a different way. So that's why Bonsai helps a lot to understand exactly how IFC schema works, because it shows you the things exactly how are presented in IFC schema. It
Mhm.
doesn't try to create a new custom property set or something. No, it just shows you exactly how it is, and it's so easy to navigate, right? You just look in the object information tab and you see everything about that object that you picked in the model.
Exactly. And the way that it's presented to you as a clash or as an issue, I think the IDS editors, um, they give you some sort of freedom, some creative freedom to structure your IDS file. And so you can filter by IFC class, but you can also filter by parameter or filter by attribute,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And I think the most important thing on the whole process is the deliver. I mean, you have to deliver the best results,
The
meaning
requested information.
the requested information. And if you need to fix it, it has to be really well presented. And you begin the presentation on the beginning, or when you specify it, when you're going to run, it's going to give you a report exactly the way you want, exactly the way you have to explain to the modelers or something,
That's what I
you
love
know?
about these HTML reports. They are even better than BCF. It's like it's crazy. It's crazy good. Um, they help you like they are your things. Like they help you to troubleshoot the ideas. Because
Mhm.
what I'm 100% sure you run IDS and you had the wrong data type and you had to fix that. Something like no,
No,
you
so
didn't.
no, I don't understand what
No?
do you mean
Okay.
data type?
There is like each kind of information in IFC, like in a custom property set, there is a
Hmm.
data type.
Okay.
And sometimes, let's say that you are checking for a custom pset called pset X information property 1. So if you have like if the data type is not correct, you will get that as an error in Bonsai in HTML. The HTML report, it will show a red, even if you have, so you have the property in the model and the
Hmm.
value, but because the data type is not correct, you will get that error. I'm not sure if this has been changed, but this was
Yeah,
the problem before. I think maybe this has been removed in a new in a latest release or something like that, because I didn't
probably.
see that a lot. But before this was a problem, and like no one is thinking like we are already struggling to get the right information,
Hmm.
thinking also about the data type, having the correct data type, and there is no other tool that shows you that, right? Even
Hmm.
Bonsai, you can't see in Bonsai which is the data type of a value. You see that only in IDS. You see it, I was seeing it as a report in IDS, and it was like, hey, this should be IFC label or something like that, or IFC
Hmm.
integer, or IFC. I don't think they have removed, but they are applying just to some specific things. I'm not sure, but I know I still see these things.
Yeah,
So
that never happened to me. So
yeah,
maybe they fixed it. Maybe I was lucky. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. But I think like something like this, like it's impossible to spot, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, it's that HTML report. It's amazing because I'm trying to run ideas sometimes in Solibri. This the with the idea, unfortunately for now, it doesn't work. With the idea to create a BCF issue from an error from an issue, like create a BCF issue from something missing, from something that's reported that is not in the IDS, right?
Hmm.
But it doesn't work for some reason. And then, like, yeah, the HTML report is still the best because I think most of the time, not like I think almost always, the information is missing from all the objects, not only from one or two, right? So um, that's also easier to report. You can just report and say, hey guys, look, all the walls are missing this information.
Hmm.
It's not more complicated than that. Like you just don't have this property, and I need that, right?
Hmm.
So that's a real use case for me. But yeah,
Yeah.
that HTML report, it's an amazing way, interactive way to see the report.
Yes.
The next thing that I didn't look into too much, it would be to create some dashboards based on these reports. But they are great, especially for those who create the IDS itself. They are perfect because you understand and you get help how to fix the IDS, or if it's a real issue. Because sometimes you get the error, but every time when I get an error, I also look and see why. That like that report is telling you why, right? It's telling you that
Hmm.
because the value is not correct or because the data type is not correct. Meanwhile, in other tools, you just get a report, this is wrong, but you don't get
Hmm.
any feedback on what is wrong. Like what do you do?
Exactly.
Like what do you fix? It's more difficult to troubleshoot, right?
Hmm.
Meanwhile, here, yeah, it's an amazing, simple, but also very powerful.
Yes, it's amazing. And the fact that it also at least the US BIM Aka software, when you download it, it downloads a PDF with the whole specifications that is human readable. That's also awesome.
The report, yeah.
Yes. And yeah. And the I don't know if people here in this channel watch the video creating the BCF. If you don't, go watch it. Um, you can yeah, you can export the BCF and you can um do the thing. Sorry, I'm shy.
You,
I'm getting nervous.
it's okay, no
But
worries.
um
You can share it with the stakeholders that are supposed to fix it, right? But I think
yes.
there is an issue with that.
Hmm.
And the issue is that that BCF can be open only in Bonsai. It doesn't work in other tools.
I opened in BIM Collab Zoom.
And it worked. You see the
It,
same issue?
uh-huh. And the BCF manager.
Okay, okay.
And
Then,
I opened the BCF manager on Revit.
and it
That
worked.
was it worked. I just in the video that the guy did, he showed the in Revit and BCF manager.
Okay, that's interesting because
Yeah.
I thought that exactly that thing was not working. So
I
then I
mean,
misunderstood.
it definitely has some issues. I don't think it's ready, you know. I mean, it's amazing. I'm not judging, and it's free. It's amazing, but I don't think it's ready yet, you know. There's a lot of problems when I'm trying to export the BCF, for example. If I
Yeah.
don't put the information exactly as it's supposed to,
Uh-huh.
the whole program closes, you know.
Yeah, you get a crash. You should
You get a
report these
crash.
things, man. You are supposed to report this on GitHub. Report this
Okay.
because these are bugs and they can be fixed.
Okay.
So
I'll start doing that.
you'll see I have a video about that, how to report issues on GitHub. Just search GitHub on my YouTube channel and you'll see exactly how you can report an issue because this is very important. That's a great way to contribute actually to the project.
Okay. Okay.
um, because it shouldn't
Mm-hmm.
happen, but people like the devs can't know if we don't share this information with them, right? So that's why I'm encouraging everyone encountering any kind of challenges, just explain the situation when it's happening and how, and they are going to do something about that. Especially these are kind of critical things, like they are
Mm-hmm.
very important, like crashes and so on are like very very important,
Yes.
very priorities on the priority list.
Yeah. But when it does work, it works flawlessly. You know, the BCF manager, I've been using it. You just have to there's a couple extra steps that you have to take. They're not so obvious. And I think being obvious, not being obvious, but if the UI is great, that already
Mm-hmm.
helps a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But even though it's not that easy, it's possible. It works,
Mm-hmm.
and I can fix the issues that I find on IDS easy
Mm,
and fix it.
that's great. You know, the UI is going to come, but the first thing, if you need a UI, you need something that works. You need the functionality first. That's how the guys are prioritizing, right? And then, based on the input from us, again, this is another thing that you can also report in GitHub. You can say like feature request or whatever, but feature request could be like, and you can describe the workflow. What is a natural workflow? What do you think like how it should work? And they can do
Mhm.
something about that. Like that happened for many things. Like many things that you see already in place in Bonsai have gone through that repetition, through that iteration, um, which has been started by some users. I personally I also provide a lot of feedback when it comes to this to many things and many other people.
Mhm.
So like people are like the devs are more than willing, they're more than happy to get feedback. So it's just we have to tell them. There is no guarantee how long it's going to take, but yeah, until then we need tutorials and so on. And yeah, it's in the end the most important is to have the functionality first, right? And after that, like we polish, like me, I don't do that, but I mean like the bonsai team guys who are working on the project are prioritizing according to the use, right? How many people are using, how many people are requesting, right? So that's why it's important, like the features that we highlight the most, they have a higher chance to get fixed. So
Mhm.
that's why I encourage you and everyone else to try to do that.
Okay, I'll definitely start doing that.
Mm.
And
Yeah, it's very
yeah.
simple actually. It doesn't take like it takes you as much as to explain to somebody verbally. Like you just write a few phrases, take maybe a few screenshots if you want. If you can record a short video exactly and show exactly how it's happening and so on. Like the more information you provide, the easier it's going to be to track down and replicate. And when they replicate, they can see exactly why and they can fix it.
Okay.
Mhm. So, yeah. And what are your plans right now regarding bonsai and the IDS?
My main goal right now is just to finish up my thesis. I cannot think of anything else right now. Um, I mean, I just plan to work in a company, and if they're not using that there, I'll show them. Then I'll try to convince everyone to use it. That's my. I've become an IDS testimony. I don't know how if that's a
Ambassador or
ambassador. Yeah,
evangelist.
yeah, that.
That's great. I need more. I need more. There are not many,
Yeah,
but
that's what
it's
we need
great
to
to
do.
see.
Preach.
But
We
I
need to
like,
preach IDS.
yeah, yeah. But again, like until people try it, they will not going to see the potential. That's why I'm saying like stop talking about ideas. I see a lot of people talking about ideas. Yeah, ideas looks cool, but they don't try it. Try it,
Mhm.
man. Just try it, give it a try, and you'll see the impact. And once you open your eyes, then you are going to be able to do to see the potential. So yeah, that's amazing. So Bonsai plays an important role in your workflows, and you are saying that is going to play an important role in your career as well. Because
Definitely.
the good part, you know what is the good part? Like I'll tell you about myself, right? In my case, nobody asked me to use Bonsai in my project. Like I I didn't force anyone. I didn't try to convince anyone to use Bonsai. It happened eventually that few colleagues of mine have started to use Bonsai, not on my project, but on other projects. But I didn't like the what I where I try to get with this is that like this is a tool that you can get in any place you go and work. Like nobody like the only reason you can't do that if they say that you are not allowed to install Blender on your computer. But that would be dumb if you can provide value to the project or to the company, right? So if that's not a problem, then like this is something that you like it's an invaluable skill because you are not going to go and need to I don't know to push or to nag your manager to pay for a license or something. You just go and do your job, and you bring value to the project. That's how it works, and that's the most amazing part. Actually, you don't
Mhm.
have to. You can do that. It's good, of course. That's one of the most important reasons why I'm doing everything I'm doing because I see this tremendous value of this amazing tool. But you don't have to. Again, like, and you don't have to force people into that. But people are getting inspired when you show them how it works and the value of it, right? So then just everything just happens by itself because it like you can do so many things with this tool that you don't have to and to pay for a license. And this is especially important for companies who don't use these workflows yet, who don't have like there are many companies in which people are very comfortable. They have already Solibri license or BIM Collab Zoom, and they use these tools. They don't need it, right? They don't have time. They don't want. This is one of the reasons why many people don't even think about. They want to get out of their comfort zone. If this works for me, why should I do more, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I might be wrong, but I'm sure there are some.
No, I understand. I think this is the beauty of the open BIM approach, you know. And there's also the ethical part of it because it's a way to avoid the vendor lock-in, you know, the being dependent
To own your
on,
data.
yes, to own your data. You say that a lot on your posts on LinkedIn. Um, yes, you have to own your data because these companies that are making millions of because of this vendor lock-in philosophy, we're not sure if it's going to be around in 20, 30 years. And we build projects to last way more than that.
Hmm.
And we do need a way to maintain this IFC to really own your data. I cannot put this any better than you do. And
Thanks.
and yeah, I think IDS is the way. I don't think you're wrong about that. This is the future. And I don't think it's ready yet, but there's so many things that you can do already that it's going to be way easier. It's going to make your life way easier. And yes, and that's my opinion on that.
Again, like when you say that I don't think it's ready, like I think you mean that is not a fully polished tool that it can do everything. But also we
Yes.
have to remember that is one of the very few, if not the only tool that you can do everything with it. You can model, you can use it for validation. Like me, I don't use it for modeling at all. I'm a BIM coordinator, right? So I'm using for validation and quality assurance, right? You
Hmm.
can do it for costing, for 4D. Like you can, like there is no tool that supports all these things or the IFC schema to this level, right? So that's the thing. Like I'm not saying everyone, although I see and I have examples of people who have who are using fully Bonsai as their main tool. I have people who are using Bonsai as their main authoring tool. I know people who use Bonsai as their main validation tool. I'm one of them. I use Solibri very little, very not very often, and very for many months I didn't use it actually. So depends like the use case, right? But I always recommend at the same time, like don't look at Bonsai as something like there are some people in some situations when, like, if you really start from scratch, if you don't want to stress never about the license, then maybe it's worthwhile to learn how to model from scratch. That's more difficult, it takes more time, but it might be worthwhile, right? But
Mhm.
maybe people who already have workflows in place, the best thing they can do is just to bring the tool in and just do the things that they can't do with other tools, or without needing three, four different licenses to do the same different things, right? So that's something like an augmenting tool who works perfectly. I don't like, not everyone should ditch the tool they are using and use Bonsai. I'm not saying that, but everyone can benefit from Bonsai to some degree. So that's what I think.
Yes, yes, I agree with you. The word is not that it's not finished. It's just it's not polished. But I think
It's
this is
alpha. It's
how
alpha tool. We know,
it's
like there is
alpha.
it's a risk that we witness the updates every day and every week and so on. But
Yes,
it's something we live with.
and I think what you do here is important because that's how we make it even better, to get people to use it to report the problems and to make everything better.
Exactly. And
That's how we do
we
it.
are in exactly that stage where every contribution has a legacy in how the tool is looking. So, of course, like it's not even beta, right? But at the same time, I use it in a 1 billion euros project. It's crazy. Like, and other people are doing the same. So
Mhm.
that's the amazing part, right? Yeah. Of course, you have to be more careful and stuff like that. But like the value proposition is just to hide, to ignore it.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to mention that you think we didn't cover?
I mean, no, I think uh I mean, I'm just a beginner too in IDS. I think this is my view as a student. I didn't know anything about this a couple of months ago, and now I'm a preacher of IDS, and I think everyone should do it. I think everyone should give it a try, and it's not hard. It's not that hard, and it might change the industry forever. I think
I
there's a
love
lot of
that. I
value.
love that. I wanted to tell you if to ask you if you have a message for everyone watching, and that's a great message actually. I There
Yeah,
is
that's
nothing
definitely my message.
to add to that. Like, yeah, and if a student see a lot of value in that, like if you are working in projects, you are going to see it even more. But you have to just start using it.
There's
That
a
will not happen, like it has to, like the click happens after you see, after you create your first ideas and after you run it. That's when you start realizing the power of this tool.
Mhm. And there's so many. I think BIM as a whole is a blue ocean. There's so many opportunities, so many untouched things to explore. And IDS is something that has a great community around it, and it's being developed by the day. And there was this other day that I have a friend in Brazil that's really excited about AI. He sent me this website that creates another website with a prompt. And so my first idea was like, can I create an IDS editor like by myself? And I almost did. It was actually writing the XML file, writing the PDF file with everything I needed. It was just not downloading. So, but it was like a matter of 20 minutes just fooling around with ideas, fooling around with AI. And, you know, what happens next? What's going to happen in a few months? What's going to happen with users, with companies using this? Yeah, I think this is definitely an opportunity, and it's wide open for us.
You heard this. You heard this, guys and gals, right? You heard it. You put it
Yeah,
perfectly, Joao Pedro. Thank
thank
you
you.
so much. It was
Thank
very
you.
nice to chat with you. I hope at least some of the viewers will get inspired. And I'm looking forward to hear more about how your journey with Bonsai and IDS is going to go in the next months after you finish studying and start working.
I'll share everything. I'll share everything on LinkedIn. Can I
Sure, of course, of
talk
course, of
about
course,
the
of
so I
course.
just started a YouTube channel like yesterday, and I'm gonna share everything I learned, not only about IDS but BIM as a whole. And yeah, if you want, follow me.
What is
And
the name of the channel?
it's the BIM student
The
because
BIM student.
I'm a
Okay, okay,
student.
that's cool. Do
And
you have it on your LinkedIn profile?
no, it will be now
No?
that you said
Okay.
it.
Yeah, yeah. But
But
yeah, the BIM student YouTube channel. That's great. And I think people can read your name in the at the bottom of the image of your image. So
mhm.
they can follow you on LinkedIn as well. Do you plan to post
Yes.
also on LinkedIn, I guess, right?
Yes, it's step by step.
Yeah.
I'm still learning this whole thing, how to
It's a skill, but
do.
keep doing it. Don't think how you do it. Just do it, okay?
Yeah,
Like
that's what we have to do.
you grow from there. But the
Yeah.
most important is to start doing it, and then you shape it into what you want it to become.
My only plan is to be consistent. I
That's the most
Nothing
important.
else matters.
I like a lot your mindset. I like a lot your mindset. That's exactly
Thank
how I
you.
also think.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, thank
Okay.
you so much, and we
Thank
stay
you
in
so
touch.
much, guys. And please like, subscribe. That's it.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Have a great
Thank
day, and
you.
we stay in touch.
Okay. You too.
Bye.
Nice to meet you.